An irresponsible father sold his own son and used the money to buy himself a fighting robot. Find out what came of it in our review of the film Real Steel. The film takes place in the near future. Grown-up men beating each other up with their fists are no longer of interest to anyone. The usual boxing ring has been replaced by a robot box. Charlie Kenton arrives at the fair. He has an old combat robot and a ton of debt. Today he has to fight a bull. Charlie has a lot of money on the line. The bull's owner, Ricky, promises to beat the crap out of Charlie if he cheats. The fight starts perfectly. It looks like the bull doesn't stand a chance. But Charlie gets distracted by flirting with a girl in the crowd. At that moment, the bull attacks and crushes the robot across the arena. Realizing things are going badly, the man flees. He has no money to pay Ricky. Suddenly, Charlie is caught by old acquaintances. They have bad news. His ex-wife gave up her soul. Now they have an 11-year-old son. Charlie's problem. The action shifts to court, where a custody case is being heard over Max Kenton. His Aunt Deborah dreams of becoming his guardian, but the grieving father is preoccupied with other things. All Charlie wants is to escape his fatherhood and get money for a new robot. As soon as he sees Deborah and her husband, Marvin, Charlie comes up with a plan. The couple is wealthy. Charlie suggests Marvin make his wife happy. Just $100,000 and the legal father will give up custody. They both agree. Marvin wants to spend a couple more months without the kids in Tuscany. During that time, the boy will stay with Charlie. Marvin will pay $50,000 upfront, and another $50,000 when he and Deborah return and pick up the baby. Charlie returns to the old boxing gym owned by his friend Bailey. She's a technician, and also deeply in debt. She's tired of Charlie's escapades and wants to quit roboboxing. But Charlie doesn't care what she thinks. Marvin brings the promised $50,000 and the baby. It turns out the guy's no slouch. Max quickly realizes his hapless dad has sold him out and is demanding his cut. It's just a shame the money's gone. Charlie invested everything in purchasing the legendary robot, Noisy Boy. The boy is delighted. He's a fan of Robobox. Charlie boasts to his son that while Noisy Boy was touring abroad, he was given voice control. But the robot doesn't respond to commands. While Charlie is angry and counting his losses, the boy notices the hieroglyphs on the robot's armor and its stylized Japanese armor. Taking the controller, he issues a command in Japanese. Voila! Everything works. Overjoyed, Charlie immediately rushes to engage the robot in combat. He hopes Bailey will keep an eye on the boy. But Max wants to go with his father. Through blackmail and threats, he persuades Charlie to take him along. They head to the arena. Charlie is so eager to earn money that he doesn't properly prepare for battle. Despite Max's protests, he unleashes the robot against a serious opponent. It turns out that Charlie hasn't yet learned the commands to control Noisy Boy. He simply chooses the ones with cool-sounding names. The opponent smashes Noisy Boy across the arena. The former champion is reduced to a pile of scrap metal and a puddle of machine oil. Max is furious. He's upset with his father. Because of his irresponsibility, Charlie ruined a perfectly good robot and simply threw it in the trash. Max is angry because Charlie did the same to him, simply throwing him out of his life like useless junk. After taking the voice control module from the broken Noisy Boy, Charlie heads to the dump. Hiding from the spotlights, father and son search for spare parts. They want to build a new robot. Charlie explains that he used to be a boxer. Alas, boxing lost its popularity. The crowd demanded entertainment. Human fights no longer satisfied them. But giant robot fights are a completely different matter. Enthralled by the sound, Max finds himself on the edge of a pit and falls. He's saved by a robot arm sticking out of the mud. Max clings to her with his jacket and hangs over the abyss. Mortally afraid for the child, Charlie pulls him out and hugs him for the first time. But the family idol doesn't last long. The guy declares that they have to dig up and take the robot because it saved Max's life. Charlie is angry. It was he who saved the child, not some piece of metal. The father leaves, and the son remains at the dump, digging for the robot until the morning. In the morning, Bailey is handed a new robotic wreck. She is in despair. Her father was Charlie's coach and invested everything in his career. Now Bailey has invested in his passion for robot boxing. And what did she get in return? A mountain of debt and utter ingratitude. She thinks it's time for Charlie to call it a day. He promises he will, but begs Bailey to help him again. The boy has become attached to the robot. If Bailey can't revive him, no one else can. The girl agrees to try. The robot is very old. It seems like it won't even start. But suddenly its electronic face comes to life. It turns out the robot is mimicking Max's movements. This is the so-called shadow function, a rare thing these days. Max cleans the robot and finds an engraving under a layer of dirt. This name is Adam. The guy demands to organize a fight with the robot. Adults don't like the idea. An Adam isn't a fighter. It's a sparring model. He can take a punch, but he can't attack. Max is unyielding and still wants to fight. While Charlie searches for a suitable opponent, Bailey tells Max how tough his father was in the ring. But alas, his time has passed. Charlie and Max head to Atlanta. They find themselves in the arena of the Real Steel Championship. There they see the legendary roboboxing champion, the mighty Zeus. Max is delighted. He met his idol. But Charlie is having a bad day. Everyone turns him down. The fight has to be staged at the zoo, the lowest class underground arena. Max doesn't sleep all night. Using the shadow function, he programs commands into the robot. At the zoo, Max brazenly bargains and makes bets. If his robot survives at least one round, he'll win $1,000. If the robot falls, the zoo owner will take it. The fight starts terribly. The guy lacks experience. Suddenly, it turns out the ancient piece of iron can actually take a beating. Not only does the robot survive the first round, but it even makes it into the second. Its chances are slim, but the opponent is the same old canned product that breaks down mid-battle. Recognizing the newcomer's potential, a man from the crowd suggests giving Adam another fight. Max immerses himself in training. To make Adam easier to control, a voice controller for noise-based combat is installed. One day, tired of boxing, Max starts dancing. The robot imitates him. Charlie watches their dance and tells his son to use it as his gimmick. The crowd loves that kind of thing. Max is afraid it will look stupid, but Charlie insists. Max agrees, but only if his father shares his experience and trains the robot. Charlie begins training. People are starting to talk about Adam and his signature dances. He's winning, the money is flowing, and father and son are gradually growing closer. Suddenly, Adam is offered a fight on America's premier arena, the same place where Zeus himself fights. Before the fight, Charlie and Max are invited to the box of Farah Lemkova, the billionaire and owner of Zeus. There, Max meets his creator, the brilliant Tako Machito. Farah immediately offers to buy Adam. Her Zeus needs a sparring partner. Charlie is all for it, but Max flatly refuses. He loves this robot. Charlie warns them that a serious opponent awaits them, and in half an hour there will be no one left to love. A two-headed robot and a whole team of pilots enter the ring against Adam. Old Adam doesn't stand a chance. Or does? Charlie notices a flaw in his opponent. He begins to anticipate his moves and wins. The crowd goes wild. Taking advantage of the moment, Max takes the microphone from the host and challenges Farah Lemkova herself. After the fight, Charlie is reminded of his debts. Ricky hasn't forgiven him for running away after sparring with a bull. His friends beat up Charlie right in front of Max. The next day, a beaten Charlie brings his son to a luxurious building. Max thinks they have an appointment with Lemkova, but in reality, he was brought to Aunt Debris. After the fight, Charlie realized it was dangerous for the child to be with him. Debris' husband was going to give him the agreed-upon sum, but Charlie refuses the money. He tries to talk to Max, but he's terribly offended. The only thing the boy wanted was for his father to fight for him, not try to push him off onto someone else. Charlie is having a hard time dealing with the breakup. Tormented by loneliness, he returns to Bailey. She confidently declares that, yes, he was a terrible father, but it's not too late to fix everything. Reinvigorated, Charlie kisses her and leaves. Reaching Aunt Debbie, he asks her permission to spend one more evening with Max. Farah Lemkova agreed to the fight, so they have unfinished business. It's a sensation in New York. A championship fight between the great Zeus and the newcomer Adam. Zeus' creator is furious. This fight is humiliating for him, but refusing to fight would damage the champion's reputation. Reiki gloats. He's betting 100,000 that Adam won't even make it to the second round. The battle begins. Zeus mercilessly beats Adam. but he always finds the strength to rise. As Zeus corners Adam and prepares to deliver the finishing blow, the bell rings, ending the round. Reiki realizes he's lost the bet. He tries to escape, but is stopped. That's right, let him get what he deserves. Round after round goes by. The crowd goes wild. At the end of the battle, Adam's voice control fails. Charlie is devastated. The robot can no longer hear commands. But Max suggests a way out. Yes, Adam can't hear, but he can see. In the final round, Charlie uses the shadow function. He's boxing, and Adam is mimicking his movements. Zoo's creator, Machida, drives away the pilots and begins to personally control his champion. It seems he's about to destroy Adam, but in reality, Charlie is luring him into a trap. When Zeus's batteries run low, Charlie launches a brilliant attack and almost wins. The bell sounds. Both opponents are on their feet, meaning the judges will decide the winner. Zeus wins by a narrow margin on points. Yes, he retained his championship title, but for Lemkova and Machida, it was a humiliating loss. After all, it was Adam who was declared the people's champion. Father and son finally admit they've bonded, thanks to the little ancient robot. Did you enjoy the review? Then give it a like, subscribe to the channel, and you're a champion. This was MovieCat, and we continue creating just for you.